Whiskers and Mittens, a tale of honesty, teamwork, and bravery. In a cozy little house at the edge of a quiet town lived two adorable cat siblings, Whiskers and Mittens. Whiskers, the older brother, had soft gray fur and a curious streak as wide as his whiskers were long. Mittens, the younger sister, was a calico with orange, black, and white patches and a playful sparkle in her green eyes. The two cats were not only siblings but the very best of friends, spending every day together exploring, playing, and, of course, napping in the sunniest spots they could find. One crisp autumn afternoon, as they lounged on the windowsill, Mittens spotted something strange in the garden outside. "Whiskers, look," she whispered, her eyes wide with excitement. Whiskers followed her gaze and saw a curious sight, a tiny, old wooden door at the back of the garden, hidden under tangled ivy and bright red leaves. "I've never seen that door before," Whiskers said, tilting his head thoughtfully. "Me neither." Mittens purred, her tail flicking with excitement. "Do you think it's a secret garden?" Whiskers grinned, feeling the thrill of a new adventure bubbling up inside him. "There's only one way to find out," he said, hopping down from the windowsill and leading the way toward the mysterious door. When they reached the door, the two cats noticed that it had a tiny latch, just big enough for their paws to reach. Whiskers tried nudging it with his paw, and to his surprise, the door creaked open with a soft groan, revealing a hidden garden on the other side. The garden was unlike anything they'd ever seen. It was filled with tall sunflowers, winding vines, and colorful flowers that swayed gently in the breeze. There was a little pond with lily pads and a small stone path that disappeared into a maze of hedges. The air was filled with the sweet smell of wildflowers and the soft hum of bees buzzing around. "It's magical," Mittens whispered, her eyes sparkling with wonder. Whiskers nodded, feeling his heart beat faster with excitement. "Let's explore." As they ventured into the garden, they noticed something peculiar. A little sign next to the pond read, "The Secret Garden, a place of honesty, kindness, and courage." Whiskers and Mittens glanced at each other, their curiosity growing. What could it mean? Their adventure soon took them deeper into the garden, where they encountered a series of challenges. The first was a small stone wall that seemed impossible to climb. Whiskers tried jumping, but he couldn't quite reach the top. Mittens attempted next, but even with her nimble paws, she couldn't make it either. Frustrated, they sat beside the wall, wondering what to do. Then, Whiskers had an idea. "If I crouch down, maybe you can climb onto my back, and then you'll be able to reach the top," he suggested. Mittens's eyes lit up with excitement. "And then I can help pull you up afterward." "Let's try it." Working together, they managed to get over the wall, laughing at their success. Whiskers realized that their teamwork had made the challenge easier, and he felt a warmth in his heart. It was the first lesson of the garden. Sometimes, working together was the best way to overcome obstacles. As they continued, they came across a beautiful patch of flowers with delicate petals that shimmered in the sunlight. But just as they stopped to admire them, a soft mewing sound caught their attention. "Did you hear that?" Mittens asked, looking around. They followed the sound and found a tiny kitten hiding behind a bush. The kitten looked scared and lost, her big eyes filled with worry. "Hello there," Whiskers said gently, sitting down beside the kitten. "Are you lost?" The kitten nodded, her tiny paws trembling. "I wandered into the garden, and now I don't know how to get home." Mittens purred softly, wrapping her tail around the kitten to comfort her. "Don't worry, we'll help you find your way home." Whiskers and Mittens knew that the garden was big and full of twists and turns, but they couldn't leave the kitten alone. They remembered the sign by the pond that mentioned kindness, and they knew this was a chance to show it. So, putting their adventure on hold, they led the kitten through the garden, carefully guiding her back to the door. When they reached the gate, the kitten looked up at them with grateful eyes. "Thank you, Whiskers and Mittens. You are so kind to help me," she mewed, before scampering off back home. The two siblings felt a warm glow inside. They had learned their second lesson of the garden. Kindness made others feel safe and cared for. After helping the kitten, they decided to explore the last part of the garden, a small maze that seemed to wind in all directions. But as they ventured deeper into the maze, They found themselves lost, unable to see over the high hedges. "We're stuck," Mittens said, her voice trembling with worry. Whiskers tried to stay calm, but he, too, felt a pang of fear. But then he remembered the third word from the sign, courage. He realized that being brave didn't mean not feeling scared. It meant pushing forward even when they were. "Mittens," he said softly, "we can do this if we stay calm and work together. Let's use our senses to find the way out." Trusting each other, they used their keen sense of smell and hearing to follow the familiar sounds and scents of the garden. Bit by bit, they made their way through the maze until they finally emerged back into the open garden. They let out relieved purrs, proud of themselves for finding their way. They had learned their final lesson. True courage meant facing challenges together, even when things seemed difficult.